Hello guys, a usual Saturday video from my car, and today I'm answering a question from Noel Michael, who asked how to estimate the project. The freelance project, or maybe not only freelance, the question is really long and you can see it on the screen now, and I will link to the comment in the description below in the description of this video. But basically, when you get a question, how much would the project cost, and the project is bigger to evaluate just right there and then, so you need time to think, to evaluate, to estimate, and then get back to a potential client with an answer. And the trickiness of that situation is what to say to win the project. So you want to get back fast to the client to get some answer. Otherwise, someone may get faster and win the project over you. So there's a time pressure. At the same time, there's another pressure of misestimating. So what if you charge too little and the project in the long run becomes unprofitable to you? So then what if you win the project? You actually lose the money then. How to avoid that? Of course, there are various books and even courses on estimation, and it's a whole science behind that, and also depends on the project, and also on many more factors, including client and your own skills. But I have a few guidelines, a few common things that I can share in this short video. Tip number 1, don't hurry to estimate, hurry to ask questions. So to estimate the project, you need full information, as full as possible. So you need more details about how features should work, what should be like the design, what should be the whole process. So the more you know upfront, the better is the estimate for both sides. So first, when you get that question of how much would it cost, you need to have a conversation with the client, get prepared to ask the right questions. Of course, it depends on the project, so I cannot prepare those questions for you. But basically, you need to ask questions which would lead you to minimizing the risks, minimizing the unknowns, and come up with some kind of estimate pretty close to real. In my practice, I used to have a few rounds of conversations with a client, getting deeper, because the first conversation raises even more specific questions. Then both sides need to prepare answers or maybe additional questions, make some research. For example, if the client asks me, I don't know what the design should be, maybe you have some suggestions. So then I need to go back and Google some themes or templates or contact the designer or something like that. And then we'll go back to another round of negotiation and conversations. And then after round 3 or something, you can come up with some kind of estimate. The estimate will be rough. It will be range of price, should be range of price. And then you need to come up with a plan of action, I call that. Kind of sequential list of tasks, what should be done, how much would it take, and then it builds a rough estimate if you build by hour. It doesn't necessarily mean hourly rate, but generally, if you think about pricing as per time unit, then client should know roughly how much things would take and then calculate how much would it cost. Another way of pricing and estimating is called value-based pricing, which means you need to have conversations not about the features of the project and how much they would take to build, but about the value, the business value of that project for the client. So how much would they potentially earn? So how many clients would they get? How much revenue do they expect per year, for example? And then from that, calculate the price by taking some, 10 to 20% of potential revenue of the project. Of course, this is really hard to implement because then you need to negotiate with client and they need to open some business secrets to you, but it is possible. It just requires better negotiation skills. But whichever pricing way you choose, value-based pricing or time-based pricing, my overall thought and overall advice is to have conversations with the client and don't hurry to give the price or even price range. Probably provide some kind of lower amount, so minimum price, so you would filter out bad clients who would pay obviously too low amount of money. But then try to have conversations with client again. And if the clients don't cooperate, don't answer the questions, don't want to have discussions or Zoom calls or Skype meetings, then it's probably a bad client because they expect you to give price for a custom project which you don't know because you're typically not an expert in their field of their business. So they are looking for whoever is the cheapest on the market, and that is not the client you want to work with. I hope my short advice is useful for Noel and for others. If you have any follow-up questions, shoot in the comments below. And also I can recommend my fresh book that is on Gumroad about freelancing. Part of that is about negotiation process and somewhat about pricing, so you can check out on Gumroad. The link is in the description below. And see you guys in other videos.